Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. It's great to be here. Before we begin, I wanted to show you a picture of my office. Now, this is my view at Hammock Initiative, where I work as the chief of sway. And that's what we do. We spread the sway through latest hammock technologies. And usually when I tell people about how relaxed we are, they're surprised that such a simple concept of taking a step back to sway in a hammock has turned into a global chilled-out movement. But I found that it's these simple, unique, and even mundane ideas that have an ability to bring people together. And I've seen this simple concept applied in other clubs I've been a part of as well. In high school, I was an athlete. I played croquet. Now, this backyard leisure sport is a game that anyone can play, but my friends and I took it pretty seriously, and we put a competitive spin on it. And we got our other friends at other high schools involved, and we ended up hosting the Midwest High School Croquet Championship, sanctioned by the United States Croquet Association, and a professional croquet player was there. So this crazy idea that started as a joke turned into a real thing. Now, I also like donuts. So my friends and I started the NDSU Sandy's Donuts Club at North Dakota State University. And it turns out a lot of other people like eating donuts too. Maybe you do, but more and more people kept coming to our events, and we're now one of the most active organizations on campus. We bring in monthly guest speakers. We do charity events. We're sponsored by the local bakery. So what started as just a desire to eat donuts with some friends turned into this real club. This is a picture of me sailing on the high seas of Lake Superior, competing in a regatta. But when I helped start the NDSU Sailing Club, I didn't think we'd actually learn how to sail. It was supposed to be a mock yacht club where we would wear Sperry's and talk about boating and just be really chill like that. But it turned into this real thing. People in the club had some sailing connections, and they were able to teach us basic sailing and connect us with actual yacht clubs and get us on the water. And we had so much interest, we had to have an end-of-the-year banquet where everyone in attendance got an award. It was a phenomenal year for the sailing team. So who would have thought that a landlocked school in Fargo, North Dakota would have a sailing team? Very surprising. I also like to travel, especially during the winter months. So I looked at every conference I could attend in the warm-weathered climates, and I just joined clubs that would take me there. And one of the most memorable ones was when I joined the Mathematical Enthusiast Society. They tutor math at local elementary schools. And we ended up attending the Clinton Global Initiative University Conference in Miami during the cold winter months of Fargo. And we ended up winning the Codathon. I went with an intent to travel, but I had this cool learning experience, and I walked away with achievements in mathematics and coding. Just very amusing to me, because we didn't intend to do this, but we actually turned it into a real thing that had an impact. And there were other clubs too. My friends and I realized that if you have 6 people, a faculty advisor, and a constitution, you can get $175 to start a club. So we started the Donut Club, the Sailing Club, the Road Trippers Club, the Write a Letter Club, the Bonfire Guild, the Dead Poets Society. We started a lot of clubs. And in all of them, I realized that 2 things happened. And the first is that they became real, and they started to surprise you, because they're all based on simple concepts. And when it becomes real, it creates its own sense of value that is tangible and embodied. It becomes something that people can see and participate in. And the great thing about a simple idea is that you don't need a lot to accomplish it. I mean, you can go eat a donut. You can play some croquet with friends, or you can literally hang out in a hammock. So there's a very low barrier to entry when you have a simple idea, and people can understand that. They get that, and it's easy for them to join. So when you put a formal structure around that simple idea, it's just refreshing to people. At the Donut Club, one day somebody started taking minutes, and we're like, "What are you doing?" And we're not taking minutes because we need to. It's a donut club, but we did it because it was funny. And I think having that ridiculous attitude is good. So now we have this whole history of what donuts people ate. And so when you put a formal structure on something, it just inspires them. It's refreshing. And so simple ideas are easy for people to join, and you can start to establish the credibility, and then the ideas start to surprise you. We've been credited with building community, and we found that that was never really our intention with these clubs. We found that community forms around an idea and around pursuing a goal. And when you have people that are empowered by that, you can start to accomplish a lot. It surprises me how much media recognition we've gotten for doing really simple activities like playing croquet or laying in a hammock. One thing that we did with Hammock Initiative was we launched a Kickstarter campaign, and we raised over 250% of our goal in just a couple days. Now, our goal was only $50, so it really wasn't that hard to do. But by being ridiculous like that, we actually rallied the city together when we announced that we were planning to host the world's largest hammock gathering. And then we learned that hammocking actually has health benefits, and we're starting to work with actual health professionals to track sway data and how it can reduce stress. And we're providing hammocks as a therapy for children with autism at local charity events. So we're actually having an impact with just a simple idea like hammocking. So really what I'm saying today is it might be something that kind of sounds familiar and something that you already know, and I think you do, but I think it's important to be reminded that simple ideas can create value and have an impact. And if you take a simple idea, I think you can accomplish a lot if you take that idea and you just sway with it.